Something just came up on my Facebook. And it says, I've known Jesus for a long time. He often says, Donald Trump, we are really close friends, and my father happy that you're making America great again. It's my favorite country. When he saved my ear from the bullet, he whispered in my ear, the one that was saved, and said, the whole world owes you a debt of gratitude for being so Christian and having perfect morals. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I just saw it came up on my Facebook, but you guys, you cannot believe that. He thinks you're an idiot. He thinks you're stupid. And here's what's happening in the back end. A multiple um, we have multiple people like Peter Thiel, the Project 2025 people. We have the uber right wing, end of days, Christian nationalists, crazy people like Pete Keg's breath. And we have all of these things happening behind the scenes, all from different variations of absolute corruption. If if Donald Trump really cared about what was happening in the country and the prices of oil going up and where we are, we're not developing, we're not creating new jobs, nobody wants to come here. If he really cared about all of those things, then what would he do? He would send out stimulus checks. What the government would be putting into place is how we can manage AI and the development of AI in a way that works for everyone. But what's happening is one of these branches, which is the Project 2025, has a vision for what America looks like in the next 250 years. If you haven't looked at it, I mean, they're already halfway through. This is not a vision for America that is going to put us ahead, put us at number one. Is going to be a very dark, oppressive um, movement in which women, in particular, are going to be um, trapped inside of marriages. They're going to be trapped inside of the home. They're going to be trapped inside of not having bodily autonomy. By the way, this was never about pro-life. This was always about oppression and holding women back. This is always about denying health care for minorities. This has always been about um, keeping people under control. And this entire conversation around the trans community, which is less than 1% of our population, is that trans community is an example of humanity progressing in a way that moves beyond the control component of male and female roles in society. Sadly, there are people that are out there, and I think Pete Kegsbreath is one of the people that believe this, is that the end of times is near, which is one of the most selfish, inconsiderate, um, and base, benign, stupid mentalities that I think that a social movement can have. If they thought that, then why would they have a 250-year plan for what the United States looks like? Why would they be wanting to build condos um, in um, and luxury resorts in the Middle East? Those are the plans. They wouldn't be doing that if they thought the end of times were near. And for those of you who are wanting to hasten this end of times movement because you don't want to have responsibility anymore, then you're being selfish. You don't care about the planet that God gave us. You don't care about the relationships in the world that God has granted us. You have no gratitude for what this is. It is selfish, it is evil, and it is vile. The reason why I bring that up is because that mindset is what's leading the way for a very dark and oppressive future for women, for minorities, all minorities. We have the most diverse country in the world, very, very diverse country. It is beautiful in its secularism. We are secular, and that is what has been able to sustain a productive country. The only time that we have not been able to be productive is when a certain group of people, which are Republicans, are in charge, where our economy suffers, religion is at the helm. No society has ever flourished based on a theocracy, not one, not ever. It is dark, it is full of shame, it is full of denial, and it is patriarchal in nature. Okay? It's just the truth. When you oppress a society, when you prevent them from being creative, imagining, free, when you oppress a household, you create a darkness, you create abuse, you create shame, you create all of these things that hold people down. And before the No Kings protest that um, was the last one that was conducted, where over more than 7 million people showed up peacefully across the country saying, we don't want this, we are against this. A lot of people say it didn't work, but what it's doing is um, it's bringing awareness to those people who, for some reason, are completely in denial or completely out of touch with what's happening. He said that they that he thought, or he said that it was a hate America tour, which it was. No, we care about this country. Those of us who have had to go to the Supreme Court to gain freedoms, which have been awarded to a multitude of other groups of people, particularly white straight men. The those of us who have had to go to the Supreme Court to fight for our rights, to fight for equality, to fight for equity, love this country. We have always loved this country, but they tell you that we don't. And so, therefore, you are told over and over again that the Democrats are evil, um, they're, um, they're of the devil. And what we're looking at, what we're seeing, is the amount of people that are covering up these e-files, these PDF files, are in large part billionaires, elite, corrupt, and it doesn't matter what side of the aisle they're on, but we know most of them, and the main culprit right now, doing the bidding of Israel and doing the bidding of um, these communities and these groups in Israel, um, and then the movement of this war machine are right wing, and the violence is out there represented in the frozen ones, the frozen people that are going door to door, hurting people in the streets. So the reason why I'm saying all this is because we need to have an awareness, and we also need to have a 250-year plan. See, Heritage Foundation has a 250-year plan. What is the progressive plan? What are the Democrats putting out there that says, this is our year, this is our 250-year plan, this is our 40-year plan, this is what we want to create, this is what's possible, and that they really care, meaning this administration, the current regime, if you think that they really care about you, then what I would think is that they would be sending stimulus checks. They're saying, we're going to have some pain at the pump. We're going to have a period of time, which has been a year, where there's going to be a small amount of pain. We're not developing jobs. There's no jobs that are being created here. Nobody is wanting to come here. They're taking people, incredibly intelligent people out of the university, and they're sending them back to wherever they came from. We are not encouraging growth. We're not encouraging science. We're not encouraging art. We're not developing young minds to be the next movement in our social productivity. If they really cared, they'd be sending stimulus checks. Everyone would have a universal health care, because if AI is going to be a tool that we all get to use and isn't an affront to us, then we would have regulations, which they passed a bill saying that there would be no regulations on AI for the next 10 years. Then we would have programs. We would be inspired to build communities to help each other. We would look at the future and go, okay, over the next 50 years, how do we work with AI to make all of us better? How can we utilize AI to encourage art, progress, community, gardening, science, get people into the educational system? How can we encourage the use of AI to benefit society as a whole? That's not what's happening. In fact, more and more people are being oppressed every single day, and it is the work of this that is their vision. This is a control, power, feudal system, enslaving, system that is projected to oppress. And when you have that, you're oppressing an entire group of people. Inevitably, you are limiting the the it just sucks. So the idea of saving America, no fault divorce, encouraging early marriage, pushing women out of public life, increasing the birth rate for some, meaning white people, increasing the birth rate for some, the targeting young people, and how we can uh, use their 250-year plan against them. See, this is the problem that I have for that. You can use the plan against them, or you can create your own plan. What does America look like in the next 250 years? Who's enrolling the United States constituency into a better vision? We know we're all against this. And the problem I have with Democrats is that they have, for the last 50 years, not done anything to create a vision, a specific enrolling vision in what the United States can look like in the next 40 years, 50 years. But these people, the people running Project 2025, have. And it's scary. And it doesn't benefit anyone. It doesn't even benefit them. They just want it because it's power and control. It's full of self-loathing, self-shame, insecurity, and that's what this is. So, yeah, we can use this against them, but what we need is have a concrete plan that we can begin to enroll people in. The day of Democrats saying, "At least we're not them," is over. The day of sitting by and just letting the Republicans destroy is over. And what we need is a progressive platform, an enrolling platform. And we are going to have to re-educate people that have been told their entire lives that the Democratic Party is that of the work of the devil. This entire nationalist Christian movement is selfish. And I can't imagine any God being like, yeah, that's my idea. You guys go and oppress people, make people suffer. So, anyway, more on this later. Much love. Talk to you soon.